Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football channel. I'm not sure if this video is going to go on the main channel or GBFC 2 because this is quite a fun video. Everyone can only do this once a year in the YouTube footballing world. We do predictions and then at the end of the year we look at those predictions and think, well, you either are clueless and you should stop talking about football for a living, or you celebrate that you actually could have won some money if you'd have gone and stuck some money on a certain team finishing in a certain Premier League position. This is going to be the video where I take a look at just how much I thought Chelsea were going to be absolutely Premier League champions at the beginning of the season, and then we see where else everybody else finished. So if you do enjoy this one, hit the like button, subscribe if you are new, and if this does go on the main channel, link to GBFC 2 is down below. We are back with this channel this summer and we're going to be covering everything else that isn't Chelsea. Without any further ado, let's start at the absolute bottom of the Premier League table. Relegation zone. I said it was going to be Burnley, Watford and Brighton, and we've ended up with Norwich, Watford and Burnley going down this season. Brighton is the one that I got significantly wrong. They finished 9 places above where I said they were going to finish in the Premier League table. That was probably, if I look through this list now, yeah, it is officially the worst of my predictions so far. Brighton did not get relegated. They had a wonderful, wonderful season. We moved then into Brentford, who actually ended up finishing 4 places higher than what I said. And I'm very, very impressed with Brentford this season. I think Thomas Frank has done a very good job. Sometimes when a team comes to the Premier League for the first time, there is always that immediate buzz. There are always that first season where overachievement happens, and then next season it all kind of goes a little bit tits up, as they say. But I do think with this Brentford team, they play a very attractive brand of football. And I think the way that Frank has managed that squad, he has managed to get the best out of some players who at the beginning of the season, I would not have considered top Premier League quality or even Premier League quality. But when you look at what Brentford did, even on the opening weekend, I remember watching that first game of the season when they beat Arsenal, and I'm thinking, you know what? They just need a few results like this or a few performances like this. And I feel like the energy around what they did even get into the Premier League is a significant reason as to why they've stayed up and done so well. 16th place up at Newcastle United. They finished 5 places ahead of that. Eddie Howe has done an incredible, exceptional job at Newcastle. The takeover happening was only ever going to end one way, in my opinion. But what I really liked about what Newcastle did is, even though they have obviously now got this astronomical just wedge of money behind them, instead of going for like a massive name manager, they've gone for a manager who kept Bournemouth in the Premier League for a very long time. And Eddie Howe is clearly a top class manager. And what they've managed to do with their January spending is buy players that needed significant improvement at the club. Bought players in with Premier League experience. Bought a magician in Bruno Guimaraes. And I think that Newcastle, as long as they continue to invest smart, I certainly think that we're going to see them continue to improve and improve season by season. Next year, people are going to be talking top 6. Let me know in the comments if you think they'll get there. Norwich, I said would come 15th. They got relegated. Crystal Palace in 14th. You can very usually predict Crystal Palace is one of the obvious ones, but they did manage to finish 2 places ahead, all thanks to Conor Gallagher. We move Southampton in 13th. I put them 13th and they ended up in 15th. Wolves I put in 12th and they ended up finishing 10th. The majority of these, they're like 2 or 3 out, which I'm going to conclude this is probably one of my worst set of Premier League predictions yet. If you've seen all the other videos over the years, then you'll know if I'm absolutely correct on that or not. Everton in 11th. They obviously finished 5 places lower than that. They managed to survive. Frank Lampard deserves a lot of credit for what he did at Everton. It was one of those stories where you think about Everton and you just wonder, surely there's no way that they can get relegated. Everton have never been relegated from the Premier League before. And I think in my head, that was the main reason why I thought they weren't going to go down. They did have a few bad results, but then I think the way that Lampard galvanised Goodison Park and managed to completely resurrect their home form is absolutely the reason why they ended up staying in the Premier League. Leeds I put into 10th. They finished 7 places lower. Didn't see that one coming. I actually really buy into the Bielsa project and I did not think that was going to end south. I didn't think they were ever going to be close to relegation, but they stayed up on the final day with a 94th minute goal. Not that they actually needed that goal in the end, but it sounded dramatic. And if you haven't seen Thogden's video, you should absolutely go and watch it. That was absolute scenes on the matchday vlog on the final day of the season. Moving in to the top half of the table, I predicted West Ham to finish 9th. They finished 7th, so again, regular theme, finished 2 places higher or some 2 below. West Ham, I think they can be very happy with the season that they had, managing to get to a Europa League semi-final. But at the same time, it's still not enough. You know, they finished outside of the places to be in Champions League. At one point, it looked as though they could have actually competed for the Champions League. But with European football, we saw just how important it is to have a big squad if you're going to be competing on Thursday nights. Moving into Aston Villa, they ended up finishing 6 places lower than what I thought. I thought they were going to have a good season. I thought they were going to build on last season. And I remember saying that even though they sold Jack Grealish, I thought with the investments they made, they'd do significantly better. But consistency was their problem. Spurs, well, I put them in 7th, and they ended up finishing in 4th, which, well done. Congratulations. You're never really going to find me saying too many good things about Tottenham Hotspur because I don't really like you. At the same time, Antonio Conte came in with a mission to get Spurs into the top 4, and they finished in the top 4. So I think that's very important for Tottenham because now Conte will probably stay, Harry Kane will probably stay, Heung-min Son will stay, and with a manager like Antonio Conte, he's a world-class manager, and he might well build upon this at Tottenham. They're going to be one to watch next season. Leicester, I had them down in 6th. They finished in 8th in the end. It was kind of like a good end to the season for Leicester, kind of resurrected their season from what looked like very much mid-table mediocrity, but they get the top half finish. Did all right in Europe too. But Brendan Rodgers got to be disappointed with that, hasn't he? I think after last year, and in recent seasons being so close to the top 4, they fell short. It wasn't good enough from them. We move into 5th, Arsenal. One of 2 that I got correct. I said Watford would come 19th, and I said Arsenal would come 5th. It's a failure, isn't it? Surely, Arsenal fans, let me know in the comments below. Arteta had this in his hands. It looked as though Arsenal were destined to finish top 4, and then they end the season with a whimper. And that is when you can't end the season with a whimper. When you're challenging for top 4, you get it because you push. You get it because you win those decisive matches. You win those North London derbies. And Mikel Arteta's Arsenal didn't do that. I put Liverpool in 4th. They finished 2nd. And it's at this point now where I have to hold my hands up and say, Liverpool and City are just so simply too good for the rest of the Premier League. So the fact that I put Liverpool in 4th, I feel a bit stupid for that now. United, I had them in 3rd. They finished 6th. Man United were atrocious this season, and I think they only just managed to score more goals than they did concede goals. This is Manchester United. And I had Chelsea to win the league, and City to come 2nd. And again, this is the time where as a Chelsea fan, I need to humble myself up a little bit and say, we are not as good as the other 2 teams. I think we've got a great manager. I think we've got a great core foundation of this squad. Now it's been ripped apart and we've got a big summer ahead of spending. But Manchester City, credit to Pep Guardiola. The way that he has got this team as just an engine winning machine in the Premier League. The Premier League is so difficult to win. City overtake Chelsea now in Premier League titles. They've got 6, Chelsea have 5. But Pep Guardiola, as much as I don't like the guy, as much as I don't like City, credit where credit is due. I think what he's done to win 4 of the last 5 Premier League titles is outrageous. So yeah, you guys can see it all on the screen. You've seen it the whole time. That's my thoughts on the Premier League this season. My predictions, these ones are not so good this year. But of course, when we start the Premier League season for 22-23, you guys will be here to see the predictions that I give for next season on GBFC 2. So make sure you're subscribed. Hit the like button if you enjoy the video. See you later.